We'd like to introduce you to the Varroa mite. Well, to be precise, we'd like to introduce you to millions of Varroa mites. Why so many? Well, when it comes to the Varroa mite, there's no such thing as just one. And if you'd like to see how an infestation starts, you need to look no further than your own bees, especially drones, as they're pretty social and like to travel between hives. Since Varroa mites don't have any wings of their own, they slip into hives by hitching a ride on the backs of adult bees. And for the lucky mite, the trip includes an in-flight meal, as Varroa mites will begin feeding on honeybees' fat body tissue within a few minutes of clinging to the bee. Once they've entered the hive, Varroa mites slip undetected into the vulnerable, uncapped brood cells. This is where the mites lay in wait until the bees cap the brood. Once a cell is capped, the mother mite, like a tiny spider, climbs atop the cocoon of the developing bee, tears open a hole, and begins to feed on its fat body tissue. Within 3 days, the mother mite lays her first egg, which always develops into a male. Then, she lays one female egg every 30 hours over the next week or so in her newly acquired home under the brood cap. And as each of these female mites mature, they mate with their brother. By the time the baby bee develops and leaves its infested cell, as many as 3 fertilized mites will emerge with it, and the cycle continues. Using this strategy, the Varroa mite population can grow as fast as the bee population it feeds on. But when summer ends and the bee population declines, the hive is left with a huge mite population, and that's dangerous. Too many mites in a hive will overwhelm and kill entire bee colonies. So what does that mean for everyone's favorite insect, the honeybee? Well, honeybee colonies with heavy mite infestations can't effectively pollinate or produce honey because they suffer from diseases and viruses transmitted by the mites. In fact, honeybees suffer from as many as 20 different mite-induced viruses, including the devastating deformed wing virus, which prevents them from flying.
Down each area of the frames directly onto our bees. You don't want to use any more than 50 mLs per hive.
You want to put the right dosage of oxalic acid into the pan of your vaporizer. And in this example, we're using a Varroa vaporizer, but there's a lot of different ones on the market, so make sure you're reading the directions for your specific model. You slide the vaporizer right into the entrance of the colony, and then you're going to actually cover up the entrance of the hive, either with a strip of foam or even with an old rag, like in this example. Then you connect your vaporizer to a car battery as your power source, and you're going to leave it connected for 2.5 minutes. And you want to make sure that you're timing this. During this time, step away from the colony. There might be some fog that comes out of the hive. You want to make sure that you're not close to it or coming in contact with it. And after 2.5 minutes are done, you can unplug the vaporizer from the car battery, and you can take a quick peek and see if all of the crystals have actually evaporated from the pan. If they haven't, you can leave it in for another 30 seconds or so. And if they have, then great. Leave the device unconnected from the car battery for another 2 minutes, just sitting in your hive. After 2 minutes is up, you can remove the vaporizer, continue to leave the rag covering the entrance of the hive for an additional 10 minutes, and also cool off your vaporizer. After removing your vaporizer, it's very important to cool it off before putting it in the next hive. You don't want to accidentally start sublimating your oxalic acid before it's gone into the next entrance.
You see, I'm going to show you. Press it down here, upside down. You insert it in the hole. Let me flip it over like this. Tap it all down, make sure it's all down in there, and temperature is now, it dropped down to about 310 or 315 or something like that. So you can see how quickly the vapor is coming out of this little hole right there. Now it's 325. We're just going to let that thing roll until it gets back up to 400 degrees. At that point in time, the acid will be vaporized and the hive will be treated, and we'll move on to the next one. 361. I think it takes about a minute probably per hive once you get rolling to do this. All right, that's it. Now you pull it out, and you can look right here. You can see that the vapor, the acid has been cooked. That's all there is to it.